There is much to suggest that we have been involved in learning lessons for centuries, but there is also ample evidence that we have made relatively little progress in our evolution. Michael Newton, 1994, a psychologist who has studied the experiences of souls between lives, uses hypnosis and age regression techniques to provide us with case studies of the nature of life between lives. Newton reports that soul development is visible in the color range of the frequencies given off by souls. The color density and form that we as light souls radiate are the result of accumulated knowledge and the concentrations of light matter emitted as we develop. Today, this light, the aura, of incarnated beings can be captured on film and measured through Kellerian photography and other methods. Our ultimate purpose for existing is eventually to become beings of light, emitting auras of pure energy. To do so, we first must acquire an aura of white light, the frequency necessary to stabilize our electromagnetic energy fields and to provide the protection needed to travel through other dimensions. This is accomplished by developing an open mind and experiencing what are called tests of initiation. The test of initiation are the events, arenas if you will, that we are placed in through normal life experiences. We are placed in these arenas to learn lessons of the heart, focus our will, and acquire higher values, and balance the male and female energies within, and learn unconditional love and forgiveness. The more tests passed, the higher the frequency accumulated by the soul, and the more light acquired. Once we are self-realized and become white light through a process requiring the balancing and integrating of the 7 colors of the rainbow contained in the 7 primary chakras, our second goal is to integrate the golden energy of the great central sun into our consciousness and auric fields. This is accomplished by synchronizing our hearts and minds and connecting through our higher selves to the chakras situated above our heads. Techniques for doing so are now beginning to come forth on the planet, and some are being taught by awakened individuals. We evolve to these higher states through a series of stages of consciousness that are expressed in the colors of our auras. The state of innocence is the most powerful state of all, and appears at both the lower and the higher spectrums of consciousness. When a soul begins its journey, the light is pure and uncontaminated by the world. After the soul completes its journey, the power of the light is once again so strong that the illusions of the world are exposed. In both states of being, a strong sense of innocence is present. This condition is reflected in the white light of the aura. According to Newton's case studies of souls between lives, advanced souls project high vibrations of moving energy that are reported to be blue in color, with the most advanced being purple. The lower levels of soul development are seen as white, beginner, which also reflects purity in a state of uncontamination. Off-white with reddish shades, lower intermediate, yellow intermediate, and light blue upper intermediate. The advanced level is said to be light blue, but with no traces of yellow, and moving toward traces of purple, and the highly advanced appears as dark bluish purple, a state of an advanced initiate of the mystery school knowledge. Notice how these colors reflect the sequencing of the colors in the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Newton reports that 3/4 of his clients are in the early stages of soul development. About 90% are in stages 1 through 3. Only 10% are in stages 4 and 5. If Newton's clients are representative of the population, there may be only a few 100,000 people at level 5, light blue, and even fewer at level 6, purple. This may seem discouraging, and yet it reflects the difficulty of spiritual progress through the density of the negative forces on Earth. The positive aspect, however, is that the Earth is evolving, making it possible and necessary to increase our levels of spiritual development. Earth is moving toward becoming a 5th-dimensional planet. This will happen when enough people become awakened to create the critical mass necessary for a kinder, gentler society. When this happens, Earth will move into the fifth dimension in the twinkling of an eye. People who have been asleep with regard to the possibilities of their spiritual development are awakening. More resources to help people awaken are now available. As a result, there is a general increase in our awareness of spirituality and our desire to become more spiritual. The journey to higher levels of spirituality, however, cannot be understood without having some understanding of the concepts of karma and reincarnation. Karma is the manifestation of the law of cause and effect, one of the universal laws that will be discussed in Chapter 13, as it applies to the results of the choices and actions we take within a framework of free will. If our thoughts, desires, passions, words, and actions are benevolent and are helpful to others, they are considered to be good karma. We are rewarded for good karma in this life, between incarnations, and even in later lives. Plato referred to a tenfold return for the good we do for individuals and the services we provide for others and the world. Given our mass consciousness of taking the preventative measures of planning future financial security and creating optimal health, it would seem wise to incorporate this law of cause and effect. This would mean consciously avoiding negative entanglements and instead storing all good thoughts, words, and deeds as collateral for this lifetime and those to follow. Imagine collecting positive actions and events for eternity's sake, with dividends payable next lifetime. Not a bad savings plan, not to mention insurance of an exciting, gratifying future. On the other hand, if our thoughts, desires, passions, and actions are malevolent or harmful to others, we accumulate bad karma. The harmful things we have done must be balanced with wisdom and positive thoughts and acts, or by living our lives in ways that will help us learn the suffering and pain that have resulted as consequences of our misdeeds. Karma is not a punishment, rather it is a learning experience designed to help us grow to higher levels of spirituality. In the past, we accumulated karma over our various lifetimes. We removed old karma very slowly, and most of us faced a backlog of karma that seemed heavy and difficult to overcome. We had hundreds of lifetimes to complete karmic debts in the centuries past. But in this lifetime, the rules have changed. Now, time is up. We are entering the age of Aquarius, which has a new vibrational frequency. This new age is the age of thought manifestation, which means that the heart and mind must be purified and synchronized to assure that the will of God will supersede the will of the ego. The slogan for entry into the new dimensional frequency is, "Ego is dead, ego is dead, ego is dead." All souls are moving at an accelerated pace to assure not only that the will of the ego surrenders to the will of God, but also that all karmic debts are cleared. The age of Pisces brought endless wars, destruction, pain, and suffering. Someone played the roles of the good and the evil characters, and that someone was us. We have reincarnated innumerable times to experience the totality of life and to acquire learning that will assist us to become enlightened. Unfortunately, when we do not learn the entire curriculum by observation or living, we return in a later lifetime and play a role that enables us to feel what it is like to be in a given situation. For example, sometime we come to Earth to play roles of victims receiving unjust treatment. This is because we were not able to acquire compassion or empathy in a former lifetime, and the experience was not stamped on our souls. As a result, we acquired the karma from those experiences and consequently began writing the curricula for our later lifetimes.